welcome back to another episode of High Functioning, Slightly Faded. You guys got lucky because I was only going to release one episode last week, but because the audio got fucked up and I couldn't figure out how to fix it any more than I did, I worked on it for 2 or 3 hours today, and, I don't have a lot of time this week. I'm going away, and I'm working, every day up until I'm going away pretty much, and obviously, the holidays kind of throw everything out of whack, but I did what I could. I did what I could with that audio. There was obviously some kind of technical difficulty. I understand. It's not terrible, but I know before anybody says, because I know Joe's ass is going to listen to it and be like, first thing, oh, Julie, you got to fix the audio on that. And I'm going to be like, yeah, dude, I know. Remember I told you about this when I was editing it? He is a good supporter, but he does like to wait till it comes out to listen to it. He doesn't want any spoilers. He lives for the drama. But because of technical difficulties, I felt like it couldn't be a solo episode for this coming week when this episode comes out. So that's why I released it as a bonus episode. And because everyone has been so good recently. It is some good content though, I promise. And it has my BFF Janie on the podcast too. So, alright. This is a little bit of drama with me and Joe. Relationship drama, oh no. Me and Joe are low-key in a fight right now, and I just need to rant really quick. As you guys know, because I've talked about it in some of the other podcasts, and if you know me, you know this about me, I can be a little bit of a germaphobe, I can be a little bit of a neat freak, but I have a legit commitment to bounty paper towels, and please do not tell me, that, something horrible about them. Don't tell me that they're, polluting and, killing baby animals or something. I can't know that. They are the most bang for your buck for a paper towel, and, if you when you clean things, especially if you have a spill or something, you don't have any rags or anything at hand, you might need a paper towel, or you're dealing with raw chicken or something, you want to have them, and if you try to save them money, you end up using them so much faster, and they're just not as good a quality. So I hate to say it. And I've been trying to teach this to Joe, and I'm like, Joseph, it's not the same thing. You can't just get an off-brand paper towel and think it's going to be a bounty paper towel. It's not the case. It's just not the case. And we just ran out of paper towels, and I went to the store to get, one thing, and while I was there, I knew that we were on the last roll of paper towels, so there was none in the closet. And it's what if this thing happened? What if with our work schedules we couldn't get to the store? Which, it does happen. And so because I was there, I was like, all right, I'm just going to get... Well, I was at Whole Foods, so I know they don't have bounty paper towels there. But I was like, I'm just going to get 1 or 2 rolls of paper towels here just so we have some just in case. When in doubt, you need that. It's like toilet paper. It's one of those essentials you don't want to run out of. And Joe was like, we only need one. And I'm like, okay, well, then order the bounty online or get them in store or whatever, because we were working a lot of the days after that. But we didn't want to go to another store that night. I guess that was just kind of laziness. But Joe ordered them online. But they're on my Amazon account, so I get the email notification. And I'm like, thanks, babe, whatever. And then I'm like, unless, someone else ordered something on my account, you ordered the wrong paper towels. That's not bounty. And he's like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't notice. I guess we'll have to use these. Or, maybe and I was like, why can't you just cancel it? Or, you just placed it. And he's like, no, whatever. And I know his ass is playing dumb. I know he is. Because he does this shit all the time, and then I prove him right, and then he just, forgets, because he just, wants to save money, and it's I get it, and I get that I love to spend money, but this is not something you skimp on. Sometimes you need to get the name brand, and this is just one of those things, It's just much better. And then, on top of that, today, Joe's ass admitted that he knew he ordered the wrong paper towels. He's like, yeah, I just played it off it was I just didn't know and it was an accident. And I'm like, I knew that you knew. But you don't listen to me, but I'm like, whatever. I'm going away. He's going to be here. And so he's going to be like, damn, I went through those paper towels so fast. But that's just, you got to learn your lessons, I guess. You just don't want to listen, so you got to learn. Bounty has proven their superiority over and over again. And so he's going to have to learn. I'm like, don't piss me off. All right, so as I said in the last podcast, I just got TikTok, and again, it's only been a couple days, and I haven't done any videos with my face, and today's the first day I'm recording a video for the podcast, which is a little different, but I don't know, and I don't have that many things on my feed so far on TikTok because I just got it, and I understand all of those things, but I've already had multiple posts or hashtags, etc., flagged for things, and I've been on Instagram for probably like 12 or 13 years now, and I don't think maybe a couple times have had something flagged. Or like something in the past got flagged after they changed the rules and stuff, you know? But very rarely did I have anything get flagged. And I literally think not even a week now, probably had more things flagged on TikTok than I think I ever have on Instagram in the last like 13 years. Which is just fucking crazy. And, you know, I'm not sure even what it is. Like, maybe I just am confused or it's just, like, glitched and wasn't showing me what it was. But it just was like, you had a hashtag removed. You had this video removed or flagged or something. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care. Like, it's not that serious. But I guess I did kind of know that, just not really actively because of everyone being like, I'm gardening and stuff like that instead of saying they were smoking and, unalived and stuff. And like sometimes, especially when it's like a medical video or something, I'm like, come on, like just say it. Like it's just like we need to not give into this censorship when it comes to certain things. Like, I don't know, it's stupid. But all right, so spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Squid Game season 3, because this is your warning. So if you haven't seen it, I don't know, skip ahead 5 minutes or something, but I'm going to talk about it because I have to. I just finished binge watching it. It just came out the other day, but I have to talk about season 3 of Squid Games. If you guys know me, you know I fucking love Squid Games. I actually love a lot of foreign television, and like, I was kind of like, why the fuck is my Netflix account like all foreign television recommendations? And Joe was like, you actually watch a lot of foreign TV shows, and I didn't really realize that. And I am guilty of watching them with the dub, and I know that that is an unpopular opinion, and I know that I don't really... Some of the people are really good, but then it also seems like they have the same people on every one, and it's just like, come on. Like, let's mix it up a little bit. But some of my favorite foreign shows, before I keep talking about Squid Games, because obviously Squid Games is one of them, would be Dark. Absolutely love it. I think it's $18.99. It's like... a lot of the same cast as Dark, or at least like one of the main people. Maybe not a lot of the people, but I wish I got renewed for another season. That's a really good one. I think those are both German. And then there's one about there's one show about zombies in a Korean high school. I cannot think of what it's called. It was really good though, and I actually really enjoyed that. And Alice in Borderland, another show that's getting a 3rd season, and like, I never read the manga. I'm not even sure if that's how you say it. That's just my best guess. But if you guys haven't seen it, Alice in Borderland, it's Japanese, and it's really good. It's also on Netflix. It's kind of similar to Squid Games in the sense that it's like these people are playing games in which they could potentially die. But it's almost more of like where Squid Games is like kids games and like, not necessarily like board games, but that kind of vibe, like physical games. There are things like that in Alice in Borderland, but they're almost more like video game tactical mindset. But these people essentially, like, I don't know, like an earthquake or something happens, and then they come out, these group of friends, and Arisu and his friends, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, where is everybody in Tokyo, you know? And like the Forever 21 signs right there. And then they enter this game, and they have to find their way out of this building, and if they go through the wrong door, they could die, and all this other stuff. And so it's like, it's cool though, and like there's so many more in-depth things. And obviously it's Alice in Borderland. There's obviously a play on words for Alice in Wonderland. Shocker, but it's true. And it's actually just a bomb show. I actually love it. And then the 2nd season was really good, and it ended on a good ending note, and then we weren't sure if they were going to do a 3rd season, and it got confirmed last year. So because of that, I forced Joe to watch it. And then at first he was like, I don't know, because you guys have to keep in mind, like, these shows are really good, but it's like, we're all human at the end of the day. A lot of the stories have the same things and everything else. Like, you'll like foreign media, you know, if you give it a try. However, there definitely are mannerisms and things and differences in the way they do their acting and stuff that it definitely takes certain people who might not like be as open-minded about things. It might just like take you a little bit to kind of get into the vibe. Kind of like you might be like, oh wow, this Wes Anderson movie is boring and weird, and then you're like, once you get into the vibe and you're like, wow, that was a really great movie. But anyways, Joe actually ended up really liking it, even though he wasn't quite sure at first. That show really ripped your heart out, you know. It's so good. And I'm excited, and season 3 is coming out this September, I believe. I'm pretty excited. That's going to be a good one. But going back to Squid Games, I love season 1. I did like season 2 a lot, and I've been waiting for season 3 for, what is it now, 6 months? And, you know, me and Joe had to binge it. It was... Well, Dark was actually the first show we binged together when we first started dating. And so that one will always have a special place in my heart. And that show is really good. Kind of Stranger Things kind of vibe, but like time travel and stuff like that. It's really, really good. You guys should watch that. You should check it out. But Squid Games came out when we had been dating for like 6 months or something. And so like, it's just like, stuff like that is always fun, especially, even though it was kind of a long wait. It was like, ugh, but it was like, oh my God, remember when we watched this last time and everything. And I rewatched it before season 2 came out, and it still was giving me heart palpitations. That show just does. I don't know why I do it to myself. There was a lot of hate around this season, though, season 3. I think about season 2, too, but, like, I kind of thought it was unfounded. Like, I'm sorry, but people need to stop taking this shit so seriously. Like, I get it. You need to have certain expectations of things. Sometimes they should be giving us more than they are, but it's like, just enjoy it, you know? You're not a critic. Just enjoy it. Even if you have your opinions about it, at least try to enjoy it while you're watching it. But I thought a lot of it was unfounded. I liked it. You know, it wasn't a terrible last season, but you're kind of partially... I feel like part of the reason people hate it is the same thing with, like, some other shows, which is, like, part of the reason you love that first season or that first movie or whatever is because of the shock of it all, and you don't know anything. But then once you know it and you kind of learn more about the universe and everything else, and like the Squid Games company and everything, and like the way they do the games and stuff, it's like there's less of a shock. So you're like, well, how are they going to shock me more? The first season was better because I was, and it's like, well, you might think that because you were so shocked and you didn't know anything. But then you had all these expectations built up for them to get you a better and bigger reaction, and like, there's only so much they can do. A lot of people are hating the baby. I didn't think the baby in general was horrible. I kind of wish it was just like she didn't give birth in the games, or like at least they had a little compassion and like at least like took the baby to a hospital. You know, even like just a room in there. But the freaky AI baby of Squid Games, it was very reminiscent of another favorite freaky AI CGI baby, Renesmee from Breaking Dawn. And like, the baby was much cuter than Renesmee and less, like, oh my God, freaky looking than Renesmee. Like, no hate to Renesmee, except for obviously that whole statement was kind of hateful. But the Squid Games baby was just freaky. It was like, just like, obviously like CGI. And every time it came on the screen, me and Joe were like, ah! It was very unsettling. Like, I did appreciate though that most of the time the baby was like nuzzled up, you know? I almost feel like things like the baby Yoda in The Mandalorian looks more real than this human CGI baby in this show. Also, one thing you're going to learn about me is that if I'm watching a show, there's a good chance that I'm going to have a crush on someone. But in my defense, it's like they do that intentionally. I know everyone is rolling their eyes who saw this season and they know where I'm going with this. Honestly, I had a crush on 333 or whatever, the one who was like the YouTuber or whatever, G Money or whatever the hell his name was. He was cute, you know what I'm saying? And like I wanted them to have a little bit of a love story, you know, like he kind of sacked up at some point. Then he low-key was being crazy at the end, and like I don't understand why he would want to save Gihan over his own baby, but I guess it's like he just like was going crazy in there. I almost thought that he was going to be taking over after Inho, because Inho, it seemed like he was trying to get Gian to replace him as the game master or whatever, so he could either be one of the rich people that just shows up or like just retire, who knows. And that's what it seemed like. He stepped back but was still within the company. Maybe he didn't step back at all. But like, I don't know. That's just the vibe I got. But I could have been totally wrong, you know, I have no idea. But he was breaking my heart, you know, at the 333. And then it's like he was trying to kill his own baby. And it's just like, come on. Also, I don't know if you guys missed it because it was kind of a blink it and you'll miss it moment. But, okay, first of all, sidestep is just that the old man, number 1 from the first season, who obviously with the owl mask and everything else, he had the cuntiest mask. I love that owl. It was so beautiful and like diamond or whatever the fuck it was. It was sick, you know. But the thing is, like, I have to say, the people that, and obviously they're supposed to be unlikable, but the people that go and that are like the rich people that go and watch the Squid Games are the most obnoxious people on earth. Like, I almost wish they made them just like a little bit more normal, just because I was like, oh my god, I literally cannot stand to see them on my screen. I don't know if anybody else felt like that though. But going back to what the blink and you miss it moment was, is that the old man taxidermy, is that what that was? Or was that a wax figure that was supposed to look like him? Because what the fuck? I literally was like, oh my god, that thing gave me a fucking heart attack. I'm gonna see that in my sleep. Thank God I don't work the night shift anymore, because I would see that I'd probably see a patient in a room at night and think that was that. That's what I would see out of the corner of my eye. I was scared as fuck. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed this, and this might just be me projecting, but I don't know if you guys thought the relationship, going back to Gihan and Inho, and I thought it was really nice that he brought the belongings, even though they were stained with blood, to Gihan's daughter and stuff, but they kind of were giving, especially when they were doing a lot of like eye contact, prolonged eye contact situation. It was very Matt Damon, Ben Affleck coded. You know, it was almost like it could mean nothing. And it could mean nothing, you know, but who knows? Who knows? Well, okay, I'm not anti. I know a lot of people are also anti the US Squid Games thing in the end, and like, I don't know if they're going to do a spin-off show. Like, I don't know if they've announced it or not. I just know that, like, that could potentially be indicated, or a movie, or who the fuck knows. But I know this was saying for Squid Games was supposed to be the last season, so it'd have to be, like, a new show or something. But I thought Cate Blanchett was kind of a random pick. I kind of wish they picked someone that was almost, like, just, like, I almost want to say, like, more unknown. But, or if they were going to pick someone that was, like, super famous, they should have picked, like, Ariana Grande or like, someone, like, just, like, so, like, oh my god, that's so crazy. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's what people felt about the Cate Blanchett, and I just don't have that relationship to her as an actress. Like, she's a great actress, but you know what I mean? Like, and I think she could have had a cuter outfit on, just to be honest, in my opinion. But, everyone likes what they like. But I'm not anti them doing this Squid Games thing in other countries, especially because it's obvious, like, other people from other countries know about it because there's people from other countries going to the Squid Games in Korea, South Korea, but I almost just feel like it's weird to see a white lady playing with a white guy that game with the red and blue, like, I don't know what the game is called, the like origami squares or whatever, and I'm not sure, but you know what I'm talking about, where it's like the original one that they get the people to play to get them like hooked to want to go to the Squid Games or whatever, and they throw the thing in the ground. Because it's like, maybe I've just never played it, and so I'm like stupid, but it seems like a pretty hard game to me if you've never played it before, like, and someone just like wanted to bet with you and was like, I'm gonna slap you across the face. Obviously, I understand people with gambling addictions, that is serious and everything, but I just feel like it was weird they didn't do a US-centered game, because I feel like part of what really sticks with you about the first season of Squid Games, and for the people of South Korea that are being introduced to games of their childhood, is the nostalgia factor. Like, remember the whole episode from the first season about the old man? And like, he's like, I lived in a neighborhood like this when I was growing up, and I played this game, and you tried to trick me and everything. And I'm like, oh my god, it was so... I could cry. I literally could cry, and I did cry when I rewatched it a couple months ago. I know he's like a bad person too, but you know, this is what I was telling you guys. I get so upset when I watch shows, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm sobbing right now. But I feel like that was such a big thing about it. And it's like, yeah, okay, you could be in it and have it still resonate with you, like, just a thing about childhood and everything else. But if you're trying to do this in another country and host the games in that country, whether it's... I'm not saying this like, you're in the US, like, speak English or whatever, like, uneducated like that. That's not me. I'm saying it just, like, for the purpose to have the same... Because they're all about the symbolism and all that other shit, these game makers and shit. It's like the Hunger Games game makers. And it resonates more with the players and the people watching it if that's what these people grew up with. They have that nostalgia factor. So I was shocked by that. Like, I mean, what other game would they play? I don't know, fucking marbles or some shit. Let me think. War, Crazy Eights, who knows? Like, there's a little tennis with your hands or whatever. Like, there are a lot of games. Like, these might all be bad examples, but, you know... There's every country, all the kids play a lot of games. There could be some overlap, but I just think it's weird. Or even, like, maybe a game that they play in South Korea and here. Like, Red Light, Green Light, obviously they're not going to do that one for that recruiting game, but, like, that's kind of a universal one. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like maybe it was just more to me that's important to me, that nostalgia factor, but I felt like that was a key component of the Squid Games, you know? But maybe I'm just talking crazy over here, talking to myself. Maybe they're just not concerned with the marketing aspect in that sense, but you'd kind of think they would be because they have all their shit pink and black, color-coded, they have all their suits and stuff. I was saying to Joe, I kind of almost wish that each season, even obviously you would have to rotate, they did a different color jumpsuit, so it would be like the green for the contestants, like the first year when Gian was in it, and then like the do blue, and then red, and whatever. But it's like, I guess it's green because they're all worth like money, that's what they are, so it's just like the symbolism, but whatever. So I'm not exactly sure where I saw this. I mean, it was on Instagram earlier today, but I don't know what it was in reference to. I'm not sure. But it was just a photo or a video of something, and someone was like, these are the people in the control room in Inside Out in my brain. Oh, I think it was like an interview with SZA, Issa Rae, and Keke Palmer for, what's that movie called? The movie they just made that just came out. Me and Joe watched it. It was crazy. It was so funny. But I want to introduce you guys to the 5 insane women, because I kind of picked 5... women or pairs to fit each of these roles or whatever that are working the levers in my brain control room. That is my mind. If Inside Out was made for emotionally unstable girls with, I don't know, Wi-Fi and a joint and, I don't know, good, nice markers and stuff, this would be my lineup. Which, side story, I watched Inside Out for the first time when I was like 17 and I was babysitting my neighbors and they had such cute kids and they were like, the ones I was babysitting that time were probably like 8, 10, and like 4, and they're so cute, and they were like, let's watch Inside Out. They had all seen it before, and they're sitting on the couch, I'm sitting on the floor in front of them. I hadn't seen this movie before, didn't really know what to expect, and then I'm like sobbing watching that movie, which if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It can be very sad, and I'm crying watching this movie, and they're like, oh my god, Julie, are you crying right now? And I'm like, no, oh my god, fucking stop, I'm fine, like, don't worry about me, it's okay. But it's I don't know. But if in the control room of my mind there were 5 baddies at the helm, keeping me high-functioning, slightly faded, and wildly unhinged, I think this is who we're gonna go with. And maybe this would change as time goes on, but this is kind of what I was thinking right now for today. Ariana Grande, I'm gonna say maybe she could be like a glamour and beauty director. You guys know I love her makeup line. When I was kind of planning what to talk about for this episode, I already was planning on talking about something about her perfume. I love that, and I'll get to that later. But, like, she's a queen. I love her. And I love she always puts a bad girl anthem in for us bad girls. And I'm not really, but, like, I love to live vicariously through that, you know? She controls the playlist, and that's why it's literally everything from, like, Broadway to R&B to every fucking thing on earth. The eyeliner wing precision, which, like, I don't really have that, but I try and I sparkle in other areas of my makeup, you know, and I don't have any on right now for the people that may see me soon because I've already started packing my stuff for my trip and I need it to be done. So I'm like, my makeup's in there. I'm not taking it out until I get down there. But her compulsion to perform full music videos in the mirror at 1 a.m, like, nuts me. She powers that inside of me. To sing in the car, to put my full pussy in every performance in the fucking car when I'm in the traffic with my windows down, driving home from work. Her voice is high. Her standards are higher. I'm high like she was when she and Mac Miller used to post the Snapchat videos of them, like, making cookies and shit. That was iconic. But that's my girl, and she's in there. She's always in there, in the back of my mind, putting the Imogen Heap in the frou-frou on the queue. Obviously, Mother Taylor Swift is going to be there. The narrative supervisor, I feel like that's kind of a work in progress title for that. She's my drama director, honestly. She's responsible for all my romantic delusions, all of my passion for my muses, for anyone I've ever had a crush on, long-winded daydreams, dramatic interval monologues over instrumental versions of All Too Well, Dear John. Oh, you know I love Dear John. I'm such a Speak Now girl. But that's me. When I used to journal all the time, and even doing this, is this not like a similar thing except for probably less depressing than a high school journal would have been? My next person on my lineup is SZA. She is like an algorithm oracle. I fucking love her. She and I, I've always known we've had a connection from Control on, you know. I've always been a huge SZA fan. SOS was a huge playlist for me. Obviously, it was like my number one on my Spotify Wrapped, like half those songs. And then Lana, am I misremembering that? SOS Deluxe, it's so fucking good. I love it. I stream it all the time. I love that shit. I love her. I love everything. She's hilarious. I love everything that she's in. I love all the music she works on. She's a queen. But we have the same exact Instagram algorithm, and that's what I know. And I'm like, we always, same opinions on everything, it seems like. I'm like, the parasocial relationship we have is like, we're on the same level, you know? But she doesn't really speak that much in there. She just knows, you know. She guides me to the exact Instagram reel I need. She actually does, and she does up here too. She guides me to the exact strain I need when I'm at the dispensary. And it's just like, she's always there for me. Deeply vibey, sometimes unhinged, always intuitive, usually hilarious. If not, just like really hitting home. Then we have two queens for this next role. Trixie and Katya, almost as one entity. They're definitely kind of chaos consultants. They definitely are giving the angel and devil on a shoulder vibe. Depending on the topic, usually, I hate to say it, I love Katya, but she's usually the devil. Trixie's usually a little bit more in the angel section, but sometimes they're both on the devil side. Sometimes they switch the roles. You never know. But they tag team the intrusive thoughts and provide, you know, definitely, like, peanut gallery, I guess you'd say, commentary during, like, my real life events. It's like I like to watch what they do with Netflix on YouTube, and it's like, their screen is going through my eyes, and I have so many embarrassing and awkward moments in my lifetime that it's like, I know they're just eating that shit up, and I can hear it, and like, it's, when I almost have my Larry David moments, he's kind of in the same energy as this, but Larry David doesn't have an interest to sit inside my 25-year-old brain, so I couldn't pick him for this. But it's that same kind of like Curb Your Enthusiasm moment. Trixie and Katya eat that shit up inside there. They're sometimes helpful. Honestly, a lot of times they are, especially when I'm picking out like outfits and shit, just because they're real. You know, I feel like they're the ones in charge up there for that. But they're mostly just narrating it and providing that commentary, which is sometimes funnier and sometimes nicer than other times. I'm like saying this like this is real, and it's really all just like a hypothetical that I'm just totally came up with because I saw someone comment something on Instagram on a video earlier. But moving on, my fifth person I picked is Charlie XCX. I love her. She's the Brat CEO. She's the baddest bee up there right now. And she's just like the ultimate party girl that's loyal to her boyfriend. She always wants to have fun. She always is serving cunt, even if she's like puts a little more effort in than other times. She wants to be fun. She's in love. She like really... Like, Brat was a fun album, and it was, like, cunty and poppy and everything else and, like, clubby. But people really forget, and people don't, I think, emphasize enough about the feminist kind of themes and everything else that she put into the album. And just kind of, like, that transition from young adulthood into, like, really, like, womanhood. And being like, okay, am I going to have kids? Now, am I going to get married now? Am I going to do this now? Like, am I focusing on my career? Should I do this? Because those are all real things that women have to deal with. And, like, men have to deal with some of these things, too, but, like, not on the same level, because you can't not drink for 9 months or 10 months or whatever, where, like, a woman can't do anything. Can't we, like, not even eat, like, fish or anything? I should know more about that, but I'm not a labor and delivery nurse, so. But... another thing I've been thinking about recently is just guilty pleasures, because every time it's kind of come up, I've kind of been like, I really don't think I have any guilty pleasures. It's just not really, there's nothing I really feel guilty about. Like, I'm not doing anything weird. But I guess I kind of was thinking about it because I was like, I wonder if I do. So I'll try to like be more mindful and see if there is anything I do. Which I really never thought of myself to have any guilty pleasures, but I did kind of think of a few, you know. So listening to Journey... I love Journey, love singing to it, I love it all, but I guess that is a little bit of a guilty pleasure, because some people hate Journey, but I love them, you know? The One Direction X Factor performances, I love them, I love singing them, like, it's just something about them, like, it's just the nostalgia, like, it's just, like, they're so into it, I don't know, I just love it, it's just, like, so funny to me, and it's just, like, I sing them so passionately, and, oh my god, Nickelback, low-key, one time I was picking Tara up at her dorm, because we were going home for a break or something, and, I was playing Photograph by Nickelback, because it was on the radio, and I was definitely, like, blasting that shit. And Tara came over, she was laughing. And I was like, it wasn't like obnoxious, but like when you got close, you could hear because my windows are open. And Tara was like, oh my God, that's so funny. All those people could definitely hear you were listening to that. And I was like, look, I love this song. I'm sorry. You know I love it. And she's like, no, I do too. It's just like hilarious. And I'm like, I know. And then Glee. We love Glee in this house. We love the Glee songs. It's like, how can you not listen to it? How can you not love it? It's like, it's making fun of itself. Like, that's the whole thing is like, you think it's stupid. Like, it's making fun of all these stereotypes. It's making fun of all the people that you hate. So, like, you would like it even if you hate these people. And then, like, the people that it's making fun of, like, obviously it's laughing with them. So, like, they're laughing with it too. And also, no, I'm not blind to the overlap in some of those discographies that I just listed. Low-key Tyler Perry movies, because if you watch them, they're fucking crazy. Also, I feel like I heard he was a billionaire or something recently. I don't really know. I don't really keep up with that, but some of them are so out of pocket. I'm like, I feel like he just lives to torture these people. Like, it's literally like a soap opera, some of these films. It's fucking crazy. I'm always like, what? There was one, like, there was like an alcoholic dad threw the kids out the window, and it was horrible. Like, it's like, oh my God. It's just, There are definitely some crazy ones. You guys should look into it if you haven't seen any. I also am gonna go with trashy 2000s reality TV, like Jersey Shore. You know, I loved that shit growing up, and my mom wouldn't let us watch it, but we used to try to watch it on the low. And like now that I'm older, I love that shit. It's just like that's definitely, and like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, especially like the 2007 time, like when it really first started. Like it's just so iconic. And that's definitely a guilty pleasure of mine, because I don't usually watch that unless I'm just like so bored, and like that's just like what I'm in the mood for, you know. I would also say good art restoration videos on YouTube. The bad ones give me like stress and anxiety and chest pain, but the good ones, I love them. They're so satisfying. And same with like car deep cleaning videos, which sounds crazy, but they're very satisfying to me. I do enjoy watching them. All right, so now that I mentioned Glee, I'm gonna have to talk about it a little bit. So when I was super concussed in high school, like I talked about in the past on the podcast, I watched all of Glee, which is like, oh, Julie, you're not supposed to be... But it's like, you know how long I would have not been on a phone or a computer or whatever? You know how fucking bored I was? I couldn't even read. I couldn't do anything. But Glee was good because I could just close my eyes when they were singing, and just like, if I felt like I needed to close my eyes and just kind of embrace the thing. Because it's like a lot of it's just singing, so it's not as like... And I know a lot of the songs are just covering them, so I can just kind of like tune it out if I felt like I was getting a headache, but like... I was bored, you know what I mean? Because you're not always supposed to nap all the time when you're concussed like that. But it was the only thing going on in my life, and I couldn't even, like, do homework or anything. So, like, there was a couple times I'd be hanging out with my friends, and there's nothing to talk about. We'd be, like, waiting for, like, food or something, and I'd be like, yeah, so I was watching Glee, and, like, this happened, blah, blah. And they'd be like, wait, is this somebody you know? And I'd be like, well, it's Glee, but, like, kinda, because it was, like, boys, they just, like, didn't get it. It was so funny. Looking back, and I always think of that, especially one time we were waiting for someone to come over, and I made them watch the rest of the episode. I was like, you guys came over too early. Let me watch the last 15 minutes. But I love it, you know? If you don't believe that I love Glee, the performances always hit, and more than half the time, and like, the Glee version is literally better. Like, come on. And except maybe when they did like Gangnam Style, but I watched that performance significantly long, maybe like 2017. So it was a while after. I think that aired in like 2013, 2014. That song was not on my radar anymore. And so maybe I would have had a different experience than like a crazy influx of secondhand embarrassment that I did experience watching it. Maybe I would have liked it more. So some iconic Glee episodes are the episode where Kurt and Blaine are broken up, and Sue Sylvester, my queen, traps them in an elevator and like tries to force them to get back together. And she has this whole warehouse with this whole like shipping container full of Kurt and Blaine shipping, like literally like shipping them together things and like cutouts and stuff. And she traps him in this elevator, and then she has like a Jigsaw from Saw, like little Sue doll that rides out on a little tricycle and like just like says shit to them. It's like, kiss, kiss. It is fucking crazy. It's one of the most unhinged and unexpected episodes of TV I think I've ever seen in my whole life. It's crazy. Of course, the grilled cheeses episode, that's iconic for obvious reasons, where Finn like makes a grilled cheese or gets a grilled cheese and it literally has like Jesus on it and like burned into the butter or whatever. It's very iconic. And they're like, he's like, I need to worship this or whatever. Quinn giving birth while Bohemian Rhapsody was playing was insane. The whole, she's supposed to be the queen of the abstinence club or something, and then she's the one that gets pregnant in high school. I guess it kind of lines up with real life, though, to be honest. Then she got temporarily paralyzed because she got in a car accident a little while later, which was fucking crazy. Obviously, the tribute to Finn was really nice, and that has to be mentioned. Santana taking down Kurt, which I'll read that speech to you guys on the podcast. That'll be my gift to you after this. Both Britney episodes. Let me see what else. Single ladies dancing, that was iconic. Rachel's ex-boyfriend cracking a raw egg on her forehead, and I remember seeing that and being like, I would literally kill myself. I'd unalive myself. Someone faking a pregnancy and then it being discovered. Then they were supposed to be talking about domestic violence because someone at the school was like experiencing that, and they covered Cell Block Tango, which great song, great performance. Chicago's great, but it's like, it's about women that kill their husband over, like, stupid shit. And it's like, that's not a good example when your teacher's coming to school with a shiner from her husband. Like, that is so fucked. They did, like, talk about it and get called out and everything and, like, fix the situation, but it was fucked. How can I talk about with Glee without mentioning how Sue sees it? You know, that's probably the most iconic. You just had to be there. So, I guess I'll do this Santana taking down Kurt speech. So, Santana can be a bitch. Rest in peace, Naya Rivera. We all love you. 5 years this summer, I think. That was awful. But this scene in Glee was so iconic, and it really put Kurt in the place that he needed to be put in at the time. But it was fucking crazy, and I'll try and read it for you guys. And if it's really bad, I'm gonna cut it out of the episode. And you'll know because I'm just gonna jump to my next topic about Glee. Kurt, I took what you said to heart, and I thought long and hard about it. And it occurred to me that you might have a point. Okay, maybe Brittany and I are too young to get married. I mean, after all, that's why it didn't work out with you and Blaine, right? Or maybe it didn't work out because you're a judgmental little gerontophile with a mouth like a cat's ass. Maybe Blaine got tired of hearing your shrill, self-aggrandizing lecture about how you felt that you were at the very apex of the gay rights movement every time you so much as cooked macaroni and cheese together or farted. Maybe Blaine didn't want to be with someone who looks like they just removed their top row of dentures every time they smile, or someone who doesn't dress like an extra out of one of Andy Dick's more elaborate wet dreams. Maybe Blaine grew weary of dating a breathier, more feminine Quinn Fabray. Maybe he finally got freaked out by your strange obsession with old people that causes you to skulk around nursing homes like one of those cats that can smell cancer. Maybe he got tired of watching you drape yourself on every piano that you happen to pass to entertain exactly no one with. Say, some song that Judy Garland choked on her tongue in the middle of some sassy old Broadway standard made famous by another dead alcoholic crone. Maybe Blaine woke up one day and said, you know what? I don't want to marry a sexless, self-centered baton twirler. Maybe I need someone who knows more than 3 dance moves. The finger wag, the shoulder shimmy, and the one where you pretend to twirl 2 invisible rainbow-colored ribbons attached to your hips. So you know what? Maybe that's why it didn't work out. Maybe it has nothing to do with me and Brittany. Maybe it's just that you are utterly, utterly intolerable. Maybe that has something to do with it. Slow cat. Yeah, I didn't read that perfectly, and I'm sure when I edit that, you're going to hear it. But it's like, I did my best. You know, I can't just be rehearsing this shit all the time. Maybe another day. But some of the most iconic Glee songs, in my opinion, in no particular order, kind of off the top of my head, just because there's a million of them. I wasn't digging through them all because I'd end up with an endless list. But Say a Little Prayer by the iconic trio, that was perfect. Rose's Turn, aka Kurt's Turn. I love that song. It hypes me up low-key. Teenage Dream, both versions are so good. Like a Prayer, one of my favorites. Only second in quality of Like a Prayer versions to the Miley Cyrus version. I hate to say it. And I love the Madonna one, but it's going to come in 3rd place for me after Miley Cyrus and then Glee. I hate to say it, but that's really how I feel. The Boy Is Mine, iconic. Bust the Windows Out Your Car was so good. It's like, girl, we've all been there with the crush on the gay guy. Well, not all of us, but we felt you in that moment, Mercedes. And oh my God, Thriller and Heads Will Roll. That is so iconic. I always play around Halloween. It's so good. You guys low-key know I'm a Rachel stan, though, and I know how you all feel about her, but spoiler, because of that, I definitely kept a lot of Rachel solos out of there, but everyone, Don't Rain on My Parade, My Man from Funny Girl, I actually sang that one in a high school show after I saw that on Glee because I was so inspired. I fucking loved it. It really resonated with me. But those songs deserve to be there, but you guys are just going to hate, so I fucking left them out. But I don't need a character to be perfect to like her. This is from my girl Rachel. So I can't mention Glee without mentioning that Mark Salling, who played Puck, many of you may know he died by suicide after being arrested or convicted for child pornography charges or whatever. But I was so bothered after finding out this information I'm about to tell you, because you guys know I love Puck. He's super funny on the show and everything, and like just finding out in general the whole child porn thing was horrible and upsetting. But he was found with one of the largest collections of child porn history, I want to say like ever, in like FBI history, if not the biggest personal collection, which is fucking crazy. It's already horrible to be found for that, and like it's so disgusting. But to have one of the biggest collections ever, it's like, you're a psycho. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you, Jeffrey Epstein or something? Like, that's fucking crazy. It's so gross. But I need to mention it because it's like, I can't ignore that. But let's move on. Ew. I like to block that out of my memory when I think about Glee because it's like, it gave us so many other things. But another weird guy on the show, but luckily this one's fictional. You guys know where I'm going with this. Mr. Will Schuester. He had his moments where I felt bad for him. But this guy literally plants, and where I liked him, but he literally plants drugs on a high schooler to force him to be in the Glee Club after he overhears him singing in the locker room in the shower, which is like already so wrong on so many levels. And then years later asked this former student to be his best man at his wedding. And it's like, it's one thing to ask him to be in it, and that's already weird, but it's like, or like do a reading or something. I don't know if that's the kind of wedding it would be like, but like to be the best man, it's like, you don't have any friends your own age. Like, that's bizarre. He had won like nationals in the Glee Club when he was in high school, and I believe he went there too. He plays the real life first ever like Link Larkin in Hairspray on Broadway, I'm pretty sure. Matthew Morrison. His whole life in the show revolved around Glee. He didn't even have friends his own age. But like in his defense, like half the actors in the show were close to the age in real life. There is nothing better than a good group chat popping off, especially about like some dumb shit, like where everyone is just totally involved. Because I feel like now that we're older and we have actual responsibilities, we can't just be like texting in the group chat all day. But one of my group chats recently was popping off because we were debating this girl we all know. Like, she posted this photo and we were debating if it looked like she got a boob job or if it was maybe the angle and the outfit and the lighting and stuff. We just couldn't decide. In this whole group chat, everyone in the group chat has very varying size boobs. So like, we had people from all levels of expertise, and we had an inconclusive answer after like very thoroughly insta-stalking her. So, but nothing bonds a friend group more than a little investigation. But I will say, it's to be determined another day. It's still, this is a cold case on this, on if it's fake boobs or not. And no one was hating. We just were genuinely curious because it was like out of nowhere, this girl had massive boobs. But maybe she had like one of those gets on birth control and then her boobs grow in. But something that's been on my mind, totally unrelated to this, is hot girl hypocrisy. So obviously, like, there's skinny privilege and pretty privilege, which are all very real things and everything. But hot girl hypocrisy is also very real. You know, example, like, everyone hates when people cut lines at bars and stuff, but then whenever it's like you're going out with like your pretty friends and everything and like you're able to do that, it's like you're gonna do it because you can, you know? And they'll dress down to events that they really shouldn't be able to, and that's like definitely the definition of when people are like, is it a good outfit or is that person just skinny? And then someone of another body size tries it on and they kind of give us a better determination. But these people who kind of like can just get away with anything, they are also the first to give you advice like you're living the same lives. And I mean, I'm not going to stand here and act like I'm ugly, but you know that, like, those people we know that just like, it seems like they never have to wait in a line. They always get into places and they're like, what do you mean? Like, it's hard, you know? I feel like in my life, the biggest example of this is I can literally be like passive aggressive, low key to Joe about being like, you should moisturize your face. Because, you know, obviously with men, that's already a battle in itself. But, you know, I'm on his ass about washing his face and stuff because when he has the beard, because I don't want beard burn. No one does. And last fall, we both low-key had beards because of the beard rubbing my skin raw. So I can't lie, though, and deny that I've been known to fall asleep with my makeup on. So for me being on someone's ass about washing their face, like, it is kind of hypocritical. But it's about balance. It's about self-awareness. It's about being right even when I'm wrong, you know? But one piece of advice I want to leave you all with is that I saw this thing on like Instagram or something, honestly a few years ago, but it said something along the lines of like, you know, you don't need to wear perfume, you don't need to have a reason to wear perfume and stuff like that, you know? And obviously everyone knows that kind of mantra with makeup, like, you're not wearing it for him, you can wear it for you, you know, and hair and everything else. But I just thought it was interesting in regards to perfume, because I feel like perfume and jewelry and things like that, you only do that for like really like a special occasion or a date or something. But then I feel like because of that, I feel like it made me almost be like, all right, well, you know what? I'm going to wear earrings even though I'm just going to the grocery store. Like, I'm going to wear, I was just showered and I'm going to bed, but I'm going to put perfume on because I just feel like it makes everything more magical, everything a little more fancy. It's just a little bit of a small self-care trick that I kind of was able to put into everyday life. It spices up every life. I can't even speak. It spices up my everyday life. But I will say it's up for debate if this is what sparked my love of perfume and scents, you know, the last few years of incorporating all this, made it a big difference. Or it was like my mom's perfume growing up, you know, it smelled so good, I loved that. Or when each edition of the One Direction perfumes would come out and I'd make my mom buy it for me with my babysitting money. But I also want to shout out someone I've shouted out many a time on the podcast for things of theirs that I love, and that's Miss Ariana Grande. She makes the best perfumes. I love them. They're so girly, yet subtle, yet sexy. You know the vibe. You know, my personal favorite is Ari by Ariana Grande, but I've tried Maud Blush, I think Maud Vanilla, and definitely the blue and pink cloud perfumes too, and I've loved all of them. I always get compliments whenever I wear them. Men and women love them. They literally smell like being in love. Like, not like you smell like sex, but like it's floral and slightly sweet, and it lingers, but not in an overpowering way, but like a OMG, wow, that girl is so beautiful and she smells so good way. So, like, still talking about you when you walk away. But I also recently bought this body spray at Target, I think, and the company is French, Frenshe, and it's a body spray. The bottle is, like, pink. I think it's, like, desert rose or something. And there's a blue one, too, that also smells good. I just happen to buy the pink one. But I've been wearing it all the time recently, and I've been getting a lot of compliments on it. People really love it. So if you're looking for a body spray, that's a good one to look into. But this actually kind of perfectly segues me into my slightly obsessed list for the episode. And I guess I'll go with first. My slightly obsessed list are all of those scents that I just listed for you. I'm also obsessed with the song I Love You by Marina, like Marina and the Diamonds. It is so good. She's like, everyone's gone to Y2K, welcome to the 70s. And it really just sets the vibe. It's a really great song. You guys should check it out. Song of the summer, I may say. Just in general, having a beach day, going to the beach. It's so chill. You're so sleepy after sitting in the sun all day. But wear your sun protection, guys. But that's obviously an obsession of mine this summer, and every summer. And then I saw this insane Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik theory on Reddit, and this is definitely an obsession of mine because I was like, what the fuck does this even mean? But I'll read it for you guys because I was like literally shook. Here we go. Gigi was hired and paid to be in this music video. Gigi and her mother Yolanda saw how much hype the song and music video were getting, so they approached Zayn with an offer. Just go along with what the media is already saying, and then Gigi will introduce Zayn to important people in the fashion industry. The media did what the media does, starting false rumors. They started reporting that Zayn and Gigi were dating. Gigi is known for being a paid girlfriend in Hollywood. Zayn figured win-win. Zayn wouldn't have to explain to whom his songs were truly written for. People would just assume they were written for his so-called girlfriend, LMAO. And he would be able to get his foot into the fashion industry. It was also a win-win for Gigi because her mother Yolanda was pushing for her to date Leonardo DiCaprio. Gigi did not want to date that old man. She preferred to date someone her own age like Zayn. Also, dating Zayn would help Gigi increase her internet following. Zayn became good friends with Gigi, so he thought. He thought he could trust her. Both Zayn and Gigi wanted a child. There's more than one way a woman can conceive a child. In May of 2020, it was announced that Gigi and Zayn were expecting a child. Kai was born September 19th, 2020. On June 4th, 2021, Gigi's sister Bella's friend attacked Zayn outside a billiard hall in New York. The guy called Zayn a homophobic slur. In September 2021, Zayn dropped Yellow Tape, which had 3 tracks on it, one of them being Grimes. One of the lyrics was Call Leo cause we departin'. Zayn outed Gigi for being a paid girlfriend. He basically told her to go ahead and date Leonardo DiCaprio because he was done with her. September 2022, Gigi started dating Leonardo DiCaprio, LMAO. That pissed Yolanda off because Zayn outed Gigi for being a paid girlfriend. Remember, Grimes was dropped September 13th, 2021. September 29th, 2021, 16 days after Zayn outed Gigi for being a paid whore. Yolanda filed charges on Zayn. They were false allegations. Zayn adamantly denied the charges. She was trying to take away Zayn's custody of his daughter from him. In October 2021, Zayn and Gigi announced their arrangement was over. They would no longer be going with the narrative that they were dating. They would be splitting 50-50 custody of their daughter. They would be co-parents separately. I'm so happy Zayn's away from that family. He's in a better place now. Zayn seems so much happier. Zayn said it best, take me for what I am. And then the top comment on this actually really said it best, which was, I think I wasted precious minutes of my life by reading the whole damn thing, but gotta say this person's very creative. Hopefully they're using it in the right place. People just be saying shit about celebrities, and I don't understand. And then I recently got this face mask from Whole Foods. It's called the Pacifica Future Youth Time Shift Hydrogel Facial Mask. I don't know. But it was really good. I didn't get it because it said youth on it. I just got it because of the moisturizing part, but I liked it a lot. And then I think that's really it for today. But all right, guys. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening to High Functioning, Slightly Faded. Let me know if you have any suggestions for the podcast. If you have any situations you need advice on, anything you want me to know. You can always follow me for updates and more at HFSF Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Bye!